I've been asked to tell you about a special cake that I received from others, and the cake which I can't help telling you about is a homemade high-protein cake that my bosom friend baked for me after I completed 3 months of consistent workouts. So, without further ado, let me start the ball rolling. Actually, it must have been around 3 months ago when I received it. We met in a quiet park not far from my house, surrounded by towering pine trees and old oak trees with acorns scattered around them. Having finished an intense training session earlier that day, I was physically exhausted, but emotionally satisfied. Little did I know that he had prepared something far more meaningful than a simple congratulatory message. The cake itself was quite unusual. Not only was it homemade, but it was also designed specifically to match my healthy lifestyle. Instead of refined sugar and heavy cream, he used lentils and zucchini as a base, added dark chocolate, nuts, and a moderate amount of natural sweetener. What made the cake special was the fact that he had carefully researched the recipe to ensure it was both nutritious and delicious. It was him who remembered that I had been avoiding processed sugar and trying to increase my protein intake. Hardly had I taken the first bite when my jaw dropped in amazement. The texture was surprisingly light, and the flavor was rich without being overwhelming. What I like best about that cake is not even the taste, but the effort behind it. Not only did he spend hours preparing it, but he also decorated it with a small handwritten note that said, "Discipline tastes sweet." Um, what made matters worse, in the best possible way, was the fact that I had assumed nobody had been paying attention to my small fitness milestones. It was then that I realized how supportive my friend truly was. Having doubted whether my efforts were noticeable, I suddenly felt deeply appreciated. As you might have already guessed, I was over the moon. I felt on top of the world. If he hadn't baked it himself, it wouldn't have meant nearly as much. Had he simply bought an expensive cake from a fancy bakery, one that might have cost an arm and a leg, it would have been pleasant but not unforgettable. In hindsight, the cake symbolized far more than dessert. It represented encouragement, friendship, and recognition, and that is precisely why it remains one of the most special gifts I have ever received.